Man, it's just trouble.
All right. What it do, what it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be.
Hey.
It's another episode of Jazzy Facts On Wax.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. With special guest DJ checking in with us.
The legendary DJ Jelly, ladies and gentlemen.
DJ Jelly, everybody.
What's up,
Jelly?
What's up, Jelly? How you doing, man?
I'm good. You know, just in, at home, like everybody else should be. That's about it. You know.
Right.
How your family
navigating.
How your family doing?
Huh?
I say, how your family doing?
Oh, the family good. The family good. You know, we trying to keep each other, on point and sane.
Yeah.
You know.
Everybody staying healthy.
The children turned up.
Yeah. You know, you got a tribe over there, Jelly. How many you got?
I mean, between me and my wife, we got 6, but we got like 2 little ones right now that just turned all the way up. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, Jelly, man, thank you for your time, man. Everybody been talking about Jelly.
Man, we probably 16 episodes in, and at least 15 out of the 16, we always ask this question, who inspired you? What DJs made you want to DJ? And Jelly, you are the most mentioned DJ.
Most mentioned, hands
out of
down.
all the DJs.
Hands down. So you get a chance, check out a few, from Scream to a lot of them, you know what I'm saying?
Monte, we just had Monte
of course, they all highlight you and praise you, my brother. So
man,
we're gonna give you your flowers.
That's what's up, man. I definitely appreciate it.
So let's take it back to the beginning, man. How did you come across DJing? What made you want to start DJing, Jelly?
I mean, just hip hop itself. I mean, I'm a 70s baby, so I grew up on hip hop. When hip hop kind of really started, I was curious, and it was just something that was real interesting, from the break dancing to the graffiti art and all that, because I'm an artist in terms of visual artist already. So it was like, that's just something. I love music. So then, I mean, just one thing led to another. I'm seeing other people DJing. I'm like, I can DJ, I'm gonna try it. And should I just say, that's just something that hip hop has helped save my life. So
that's amazing. How'd you was DJ Jelly your first DJ name? That was the first one you came up with?
That was my first and only name. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. How you come up with Jelly? How you get Jelly?
I mean, a friend in high school used to say Jelly Bean all the time, and then I was like, man, go ahead with that. And I just started using LL Cool J came out with I'm Bad.
Oh yeah. Crush you like
a jelly bean. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna use that and start, we started DJing house parties in high school.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, that was towards the late 80s, and then that's what I just
was LL your favorite? Was LL your favorite during that time?
I mean, he was one of my favorites. There was a couple of folks that was my favorite. Run DMC, shouts out to Jam Master Jay, Rest in Heaven, who was inspired me. I'm originally from St. Louis, so
okay. See, I ain't know that. I always thought you was from Atlanta. Okay.
Man, I came to Atlanta, man. I came to Atlanta when I was 18, so I spent most of my. I'm here. I'm Atlanta. Right. So I spent most of my life here. So I mean, definitely, man. LL. I definitely like that. But Jam Master Jay was definitely an inspiration as far as DJing goes. And then I have another older cat, Cutmaster K, who was my mentor back in St. Louis, who really, kind of his approach to music, he just would just mix everything. And then of course MC Assault, who I started the mixtape game with.
Yeah, shout out to Assault.
That's the other one. He was just hardcore on the business, so I just learned all of that.
So you infamous for them crates, huh?
Oh yeah, just the way I approach mixing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think of myself so much as a DJ as more of somebody who just really just painting. I'm like I said, I'm a visual artist, so that's what my mind frame is.
I read that you went to the art design school here in Atlanta. So is that pretty much what brought you to Atlanta as well?
Atlanta College of Art. No, actually, Bobby Brown brought me to Atlanta because I saw my mother was reading the Essence magazine, and it just showed a picture of Bobby Brown builds I don't know, it was like a $50 million house or something. I was like, man, that's where I'm ready to go. Like literally, I saw her read it, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, that's where I'm about to go. Didn't know what to expect. I was just like,
how was the music when you first got here? How was the music scene in Atlanta for you? Like coming from the Midwest, how was the music scene out here then?
I mean, it was, all the booty shake. You had the hard boys that was on the trap stuff, Sammy Sam. I mean, it was
shout out to Sammy Sam.
Shout out to Sammy Sam.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be out next year.
Yeah, we need Sammy Sam out.
Right. So, I mean, it was just, it wasn't, I think the only thing for me that was different is when I end up DJing in Magic City, which was my first DJ gig. That was different. Like the music, we listened to in St. Louis, we listened to everything. Two Live Crew, West Coast, East. So none of that was a problem. It just, when I started DJing at the strip club, that was my real college and my real introduction into Atlanta, which was my first year. And DC the Brain Supreme, shout out to him. He gave me my first DJ gig.
And that was it. And
he took a chance. I lied and said I DJ'd the strip club before. Hey, that's what you got to do. You got to fake it sometimes. Like, hey.
Yeah.
And this is in the FreakNik era.
This is in the FreakNik era. This is early 90. In fact, it was 90, 89.
Because every time we mention FreakNik, we mention DJ Jelly. So you got to paint a picture for us young bucks. Being the DJ, pretty much the official DJ of FreakNik. Like, what were you playing? Like, how was that time? Of course.
You got to understand something. It was a reflection of the Atlanta strip club scene. Period. Yeah. The women, the shaking, the music was all up tempo. It was all fast. It was Luke. He was the godfather at that time, running it. Two Live Crew.
Two Live Crew.
You hit. People. It was just all up. Everything that was obscene was that's what it was. You go for it. And everybody was having fun though. That's what it was about. Black colleges, everybody meeting up, coming from all over the world, just meeting up at that time, like in April, around that time. Everybody just, that first week in April, everybody kicking it, just coming, like, man, I'm on my way. Everybody, we just pow wow.
And y'all was like y'all was going crazy with y'all mixtapes then. I know y'all was going crazy.
Well, that's when the mixtapes really jumped off everywhere besides Atlanta, because everybody was coming from, from California, coming from Ohio, just buying them up. And basically what me and Assault was doing, we was basically giving you because they didn't really have Atlanta really didn't have any rap on the radio, not strong, not for real.
Right.
And we basically was kind of the Bible of that. And of course you had Edward J and them, they was doing their thing, but we was really putting everything into, we was putting all East Coast, we was putting all the different hip hop genres together, but it was in a production value, like if you was making a song, like we were really kind of laying a blueprint of what Atlanta music would be eventually, production-wise. You can ask Lil Jon, you can go down the list, Charlotte Red, everybody. It was just, we were creating that with the mixes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember like my cousins them going to the FreakNik, and they a lot older than me. So I used, of course you want to hang around big cuz and all them. So they come back with pictures and everything. So I'm trying to see the pictures. I'm trying to see the girls. You know what I'm saying? They was wild. And so every year they made it a trip to definitely, and I'm from Memphis. So they made it a trip to come to the A and go to the FreakNik.
Oh man. Cause it was nothing like it. People were, everybody, the police wasn't on you. If you just straight up obnoxious and ignorant, yeah, but for the most part, you get out, you party with everybody, you be stuck in the line up and down the streets for blocks and blocks and blocks, playing music, meeting other folks, hollering at the girl, it was just
it was a festival. It was a festival. That's all it
all black festival.
That's it.
And we just enjoy it. And all the artists would come and kick it too. They get out their cars and they just passing around their cassettes. They CDs,
right,
and everybody
took
just
back with the cassettes.
Yeah, the cassettes. So we used to, we still got the big office on MLK, and I used to live there. So the artists would stop, and 69 boys come park in front of my house, park. Everybody get out, big old tour buses, and we just kick it. The whole streets from MLK all the way back to the AUC would just be packed and crowded, and we just barbecue, whatever, kick it. Holler at everybody. Yeah. We just having fun.
Good times.
You just brought up Big Oomp Records. You gotta explain to the because we got a lot of young people that follow us too. So explain to them how important Big Oomp Records is to not only just Atlanta, but just explain to just the music industry in the South at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. We were basically a conglomerate a label, but a conglomerate of different things because we had DJs. We dealt with radio.
Southern style DJs.
Shout out to the Southern style DJs.
Shout out to Monte, MC Assault. We had record stores all over. We had wholesalers. Shout out to Tobago, BJ. We had wholesalers all around Georgia, really all through the Southeast region, even up in New York. So we basically had all these different departments going on, and we had it on lock. We would break not only other artists' music, we break our own music. So we didn't discriminate. We just really projected Atlanta's hip hop scene to the world through those mixtapes. The mixtapes really was the reflection of what was going on in Atlanta at that time, and really of the vibe of Atlanta, period. Like if you wasn't from here, you got that mixtape or a couple of different mixtapes, you'd be like, man, you really looking at Atlanta, you know, or remembering, man, when we was at Magic City, remember you go back to New York, like, man, I got this Jelly Bud, they was playing this, you know, we introduced the world to a lot of music out of Atlanta, period.
And I remember moving down here like 98, 99, and I'm like 9, 10, moving down here. And I stayed on the east side, not too far from 285 flea market. And every time I would go, I would have to get a mix CD because a lot of the Atlanta songs wasn't on the radio. Like with the radio, you would hear, you know, certain like, you know, the up north, you know, some of Florida music, but Atlanta, like local Atlanta music, you can only get at that time from the mixtape until I remember you getting on radio, Jelly, and that all changed.
The first
changed.
97.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they gave me an hour to do whatever I wanted. It was like Jelly, the program director, shout out Steve Haywood too. He was like, man, just do what you do. Shouts out to my man Greg, he was hosting the show, but he was like, Jelly, do you. And I did nothing but Atlanta. I'm talking about Kizzy Rock to Young Bloods to everything Atlanta. It was strictly Atlanta. It was Atlanta first real Atlanta show, all Atlanta music, period. And that was like kind of the end of 98. That's when I just started jumping that off. And that was a blessing. It was a 5 o'clock traffic jam. So, you know, you in Atlanta, boy, that 5 o'clock come, it was wide open. Nothing but Atlanta. You hear everything first.
That was your first radio gig?
No, it was like my second because before that I was at V in the early 90s. Now, I was at V in 92, 93, and I started playing Outkast. I was one of the first DJs playing Outkast.
Wow.
Because at that time, all that Snoop, Dre, they was running radio.
Yep.
But I was like, you know what? These some folks that's over here in East Point and Southwest Atlanta, I gotta play it. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the first DJs to really start breaking a lot of Outkast music in Atlanta.
Did you realize, like looking back, like you was just kind of just going with what moved you at the time? Like you just kind of just going what feels good, because you in the city, so you know what's being played, you know what they playing in the streets. So that was that the thought process, like at the time? Like, let me just go off. The thought process
was like, man, you know, with me it was more of, I approach music, and even to this day, is I'm a fan of music.
Absolutely.
So if I hear something that's exciting, guess what? I want Jazzy to hear, I want you to hear it. Because during that early 90s, man, like shouts out to Juicy J and Paul and them, they used to come through Gangsta Boo. Yeah. I used to always play their music. I played the music in the mixtape. I broke a lot of music here in Atlanta. I broke Tear the Club Up on the radio.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
As a DJ.
Hey, the whole city of Memphis appreciate that.
Man, you gotta understand something. Atlanta, you gotta understand something with Atlanta music. Atlanta takes, especially in the beginnings of the 90s, it took from Miami with the booty shake. It took from the twerk from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And it took the crunk hardcore from Memphis.
Yeah.
And we just end up creating something out of that.
Yeah.
Ourselves. You know, we just went from there and made Atlanta's own thing. That's all.
Yep.
And we gotta understand that.
Yeah. And me and Scream had that conversation, but you know, I keep talking about that because Scream said it. Crunk came from Atlanta. And I'm like, nah, bro, it came from Memphis. But we'll get on Scream. We'll get on Scream later.
Right, came from Memphis. Shout out to SMK. A lot of Memphis boys. Man, Tennessee. Man, shout out to them, man. Nothing but love, man. Nothing but love. When I go, always love. Period.
Yeah, man. We definitely appreciate you.
Let's talk about the Southern style DJs. So it's very few DJ crews that I know the brand. I know what to expect when I listen to them. So what made you kind of create that entity and talk about that, about the Southern Style DJs a little bit?
Well, the Southern Style DJs actually came from, I actually got with Casper and Greg Street, and we started the one of the first coalition DJs here. I don't forgot the coalition, but it ain't around like it used to be. Like we started up, and then
Ghost Town DJs.
No, it wasn't Southern Style DJs. It was another. Okay. It was a big one before all of us, but I forgot it now. But anyway, as you can see, it was going here and there. Anyway, we started up. I didn't really care for the direction, so I ended up getting with Assault, Monte, and we just say, man, we together, we do this, and this is what it's gonna be. Southern Style DJs came from that. Some people say Oomp Camp DJs, that's cool, but the Southern Style DJ, all of it's our family. You know, it's all of our brands together. So we just had to give ourselves that label because during the mid-90s, that's when DJ crews start really creating these names. So we just say, boom, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rock like this.
What were you I heard somewhere you was Goody Mob's first DJ.
First tour DJ.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on the road with them for about six, seven months, and then
how was that? How did you get that call? Like what was that like?
No, shouts out to my friend Big Darren. He hooked me up with them boys, and what's so crazy, even before that, I met I think it was Kip and Drake. Like they came to me before that and wanted me to do the Outkast tour a couple of years before that.
Okay.
And but I was like, hey man, I'm kind of busy. We got the flea market booths, we got all the mixtapes, we starting this label. So I didn't just lie. I was like, yeah. I was like, man, I'll just.
Oh, you got Hollywood on them jelly.
I was on them for real with them. Like, man,
I was
really tied up. Like, I really was straight up with them. And then eventually, a couple years later, Goody Mob started. And one of my boys, who does a lot of promotions for labels, was like, man, Jelly, you really got to hook up with them. I was like, you know what, you're right. And then we made that happen. And then I went on tour for them first 6-7 months. It was crazy. I remember CeeLo hating to do cell therapy. He's like, man, I don't want to do this bullshit no more. Every time, but a lot of artists go through that.
Yeah.
You got his song. Now, even fast forwarding to DJ Uncle we put out. They like, I don't want to do that damn song, but your hit songs.
That's it. Yeah,
that's part of the game.
Right.
It's a gift and a curse, but at the same time, that's your entry into the whole game.
Yeah.
You get a hit. Everybody want a hit song. Only a few got them.
Of course.
So you went through so many, like, I feel like just times with music from, from the LaFace days to the out to the, to the Snap days, to the Crunk days, to the FreakNik day, Trap. What has been your favorite time within all of those periods? Where a time where you just know, like, man, these were some good times. I enjoyed the music, the culture, and everything about it.
I would say probably the mid-90s when everything was kind of popping at the same time, and Atlanta was really starting to come up. All the Outkast, the Bad Boy stuff. Like I'm thinking like 95 to 98. That's when all
like
these
Master P them.
Master P. Yeah, you had all this exciting stuff happening from so many regions at the same time. Memphis. It was just a bombardment, of all these different things in hip hop, and that I was loving it. Just excited, straight up. I was loving it. That mid '90s, '95 to '98, it was incredible, musically.
Yeah,
still is.
I heard you had a relationship with Biggie.
Huh?
I said I heard you had a relationship with Biggie.
With Biggie? No, I met him. You know what I'm saying?
You just met him? Okay.
No, I ain't had no relationship with him. I met him. And of course, back in the days, I used to come across Pac a couple of times, at the strip clubs. Hey, what's up? That was about it.
Okay.
That's about it.
I gotta get on my source.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite moments that you didn't have? Man, I'm sure it's so many, but what was like some of your favorite moments that you didn't had just as a DJ?
Probably like 04. On the Hip Hop Honors, on VH1 Southern
Oh,
Hip
when they
Hop
brought everybody out. That's when they brought everybody out, right?
That was definitely one of many, definitely at the top. You know, to be rocking with Organized Noise and just the fact that I'm a part of this history. You know, just we at the world now. Like that was just incredible. And then of course, traveling overseas after that, just being in clubs in Japan and Middle East, hearing this music that I'm a part of, just saying like, wow, this is really, we done arrived, you know, basically, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, and all these people with foreign languages just chanting all this East Side, West Side, all this stuff, just incredible to see that and experience it and just be like the fly on the wall sitting there like, damn, this was some real work. Yeah. And, you know, I'm proud of it, you know, right. Just realizing. Hold on one second. Let me plug in my power here.
Nah, it's cool.
Cause I don't want y'all to be gone somewhere. Like, man, gone. Got the hell on. But yeah, that was incredible. That really was. Here we go. Then I'm gonna take y'all back to the beginning.
Okay.
Let's see. One of my first big moments was being in the parking lot, Westlake, in the parking lot, hearing all these different cars playing my mixtape.
Wow.
That blew me away. Like this was like early 90s. This is probably like 92, 93, just sitting there hearing different cars playing different mixes, all in a circle around me.
Now, were you the trunk selling DJ, or like how did you distribute your mixtape?
Yeah, we were running up on people with the cassette and like we served them. We did that in the parks. We used to do this 7 days a week, every day. Like I look back, I'm like, wow, 7 days a week, nonstop.
What was the name of your first mixtape? Mac Mix
Mac
One.
Mix. Mac Mix. Mac Mix One.
That was a disc though, right?
No, that wasn't a disc. The
187 was a disc.
The 187 was a disc to Mr. College Park and the JT.
Yeah.
Because Smurf was gone. When I came up, Smurf had dipped, went to college in Alabama, and I started coming up. Yeah. And then he was like, huh? You know, of course, people got in his ear, and then that kind of started that. But, you know, to this day, we good friends.
Of course.
We just did a live show online last Saturday. So it's wild.
Did you ever DJ battle though?
No, on tape we did. Not live, but on tape we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's crazy how when you battle your DJs and then you become the best of friends because y'all, you know, getting gigs from each other and just, you know, just
right. But that's
eventually you become
part of the game. Mm-hmm. You gotta have the competition, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun.
Who is Starvin' Marvin?
Starvin' Marvin, and that's I'm glad you brought Starvin. Starvin was really like, he was the lead promoter, motivator. He was MC Assault right-hand man. Like he would just make sure stuff get done. You know what I'm saying?
Did he introduce you? Did he introduce you to Assault?
No, actually the chief producer at that time, Freddie B.
Okay.
He introduced. I ran into him on Martyr.
Oh wow!
He saw me with. I had an 808 drum machine in my hand. He was like, "Man, you know how to play that?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Man, my boy is looking for a DJ to do mixtapes." And we was like, "Oh, all right, cool. Let's put it together." Yeah. You know, we got to talking, and then one thing led to another. We all hooked up. Me and Assault, Starvin' Marvin, and Freddie B. And then we met Oomp a year later in the park.
Wow.
From some of his people, they was like, "Man, them dudes over there, they real good folks. They out there selling their music. They straight up." And we all connected.
Yeah.
And let's fast forward a little bit from like where Atlanta is today with music. What are your thoughts on it? Are you rocking with, any current artists from based out of Atlanta, or just what's your thoughts on this current state of Atlanta hip hop?
Man, I like the current state of Atlanta hip hop. It's just that when it comes to radio, there's not a variety that's really projected because you don't hear J.I.D., Jid now.
Yeah, I love Jid.
Enough. It's like there's room for more. It's just that I think radio as a whole has just been condensed.
It's different.
But I like a lot of stuff that come out of Atlanta. It doesn't matter, I'm not gonna say it don't matter who it is, but I do like. I'm glad Lil Baby made that bigger picture for his generation. I think that was important. Like
very important.
Somebody was thinking over there, and I mean he got coaching them behind him, so I get it. I like they was on it. I really respect that, and I like how he's moving, how they are moving with it.
Now, of course, I think that's important. I'm sure you've seen a lot of artists come and go with not having the right team. You know what I'm saying? And that can be the downfall of a lot of these artists' careers. And I know you worked with Oomp in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's y'all relationship like? And talk about the times back then. You know, when he presented that first single to you, or when you first heard "Walk It Out" or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you said about Oomp or Oomp?
Oomp.
Well, Oomp was actually a Southern style DJ.
Yeah.
So he would do the mixtape with me and Assault and Monte, and then eventually he was like, you know what, man, he would always just rap. He'd be listening to them lyrics, especially a lot of that Texas screwed up stuff. He was on it. The metaphors. He was Paul Ward used to come and hang out with us at one of our record stores. You know, a lot of them record stores we had, a lot of artists would come. They were like, to me, they were like the ghetto Starbucks. We would have everybody come, meet up, chop it up, you know, and connect. And I love them stores. But anyway, Oomp was like, man, I gotta rap. I gotta be out there. I'm not gonna be at this turntable. I'm gonna be out there. I'm like, cool, let's go. And then he started hanging with me. We started hitting the road, and man, you know, it's wild because as soon as that hit came out, he was just looking back like, oh, this what this is? Like, hey.
So did y'all realize, like, as soon as you heard it, you realized, like, oh, this can be big, or was
it took 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It took 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it took 2 years, man.
Yeah,
so
I tell people to be patient too. You got to be patient.
Yeah, hits don't always work. There's no one formula for none of that stuff. It's just not. It's just not. There's no one way to do it right in this game. Probably in life, period. There's no one way.
Right.
What advice would you give, or would you have given yourself when you first kind of started out as a DJ?
To be more involved on the business end too. You know, if I would have first started, I would have did that then. To be more involved on the business end.
When you say the business side,
just
can you give them more detail?
Knowing about publishing, knowing about copyrights, knowing about, you know, how a business is being ran, like, you know, all that's important because, you know, it's cool to be an artist and just say, well, I rap or I DJ and that's all I got to deal with. I got these other people that don't handle that. That's cool, but at the same time, you need to be concerned about every element of your life and career. You have to.
Agreed.
What was talk to me about those Jazzy sessions?
Well, Jazzy, basically, I would run the Jazzy on the streets, and then of course we did something on one of his first albums. We did a couple of tracks. I mean, Jazzy was a trip because he'd just be at it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like, damn, you know what? You know, he was kind of corny back in the days to me. You know, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know, but that man hustle was so strong. You know, I'm talking about in terms of artists. I'm just like,
right.
But he was so persistent and so for real about himself that I was just like,
I remember when he came out. Yeah. I remember like just like driving downtown and we literally every single car was playing that Jazzy mixtape.
And I was talking about.
Oh, you talking about? Okay, Alabama. Yeah. Okay.
But like, man, by that time I was just like, wow. I mean, he came, you know what I'm saying? Him and Shorty Red got together. That combination. And he had other entities going on, BMF as well, but he was so determined. You could just see it, and he just so determined. He was determined. And that, I think that trumps over everything that I don't care how talented you are. If you're not determined and you don't hustle and don't have that grit, that's not gonna work. I don't care how talented you are. He was very persistent. That's the same way with 2 Chainz. Same thing. Same thing. Tip, same thing. I knew him when he was 14. I snuck Tip and his crew at one of my birthday parties at the 559. We had to bring them through the back door.
Yeah.
They was too young, but they got on that stage and went off and
So
performed.
they was already doing their thing in the streets.
Yeah. And he was that
crazy.
same way.
Yeah, because I got on tip. I honestly got on tip. I'm serious. So I remember like listening to I'm serious. That's 2000. That's 2000, right? Maybe.
Yeah. I was talking about 90 back in '96.
Yeah. I mean, of course,
like,
you saying you sneaking them through the back door.
Yeah, that same conversation, same attitude.
Yeah. So imagine if you would. Do you ever think like, damn, like I could have got them? Like if I'm in the artist management, or if I'm in, I could have got them early on.
I mean, a lot of them came through our doors. I mean, we already had our people, so we couldn't just from Pastor Troy to Tip to India Reed, we couldn't do nothing.
Yeah,
that would have been unfair, and at least we were honest.
No, of course.
We had Baby D.
Because a lot of people be in over their head.
A lot of people don't do that. We had Baby D, we had Sammy Sam, we had Intoxicated. We was, that was enough at that time period. But the other artists would come through, and I think a lot of artists misunderstood us in them terms, but we were honest at that time. That's why I don't think people understood that. We were honest. We wasn't on some like, well, we big on records, we don't give a damn about y'all. Not because we breaking your music.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we have your product in our stores. I'm playing you on the radio. So it wasn't none of that. It was like, we couldn't do nothing. We only could deal with what we could deal with. I think I really respect that. Especially coming from our crew. Right. I definitely respect that from us.
So normally we ask top 5 favorite artists, but I'm gonna be a little more specific. I'm gonna ask your top 5 favorite Atlanta artists.
Top 5 Atlanta artists?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Outkast would be number 1, and they have like one artist to me. Yes. Outkast would be number 1. Sammy Sam would be number 2.
Okay.
Kilo would be number 3.
Kilo.
Baby D would be number 4. And number 5. That's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5. Oh man, number 5. That's a hard one. That 5th one's a hard one because I'm confused. I mean, it might be either Gucci or Future. It's one of the two.
Okay.
I'm
cool with it.
They was out there. At that time.
Right.
Like, man.
It's kind of hard to choose between Future and Gucci. I give you that.
Yeah.
How was the ATL whole song made?
The ATL whole?
Yeah.
I mean that just off of.
You was a part of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
Baby D being at the club.
Yes.
We just and people chanting in the crowd, turning up in the crowd. And everybody, we just like, you know what? We got to do that.
Oh, so it was already a thing. Like y'all was already doing it. Like...
We were doing it as a crew. We were saying that as a crew.
Okay.
Yeah, we were saying that the crew, being at the club.
So y'all just go to the club and y'all just.
Yeah, we just recorded it. Like, let's record it. I would throw birthday parties every year. I'll throw one at the 559, then I turn back around and do one at the warehouse. Like those are big things during the mid-90s and us coming into the label. So we would just kind of started documenting and putting it in our songs, how we vibing on stage. Like,
yeah.
Damn right,
yeah.
And recording.
And that's an Atlanta, of course.
That's the anthem.
It is the anthem.
Really, it's the anthem.
It's the anthem.
It is the anthem.
Yeah.
Straight up. Shouts out to Pastor Troy, who got down with us during them early times, a lot of them albums. I got nothing but love for Troy.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Jelly, I don't think I've ever told you, but you're the reason why I wanted to DJ on radio. It was summer 2010. I was interning for Greg Street. And I remember being in a room with Street and seeing you mix in the mixer room. And I just asked him one day, I was like, Street, you think he'd say something if I go in there? He was like, nah, go in there. So I'm just in the corner, just like watching you mix. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And from there, I made that decision to like reach out to you and like, you kind of took me under your wing. You introduced me to Princess Cut. You introduced me to Speaker Fox, may her soul rest in peace. And remember, we tried to do a female DJ crew, and just introducing me to those other female DJs just opened my mind just it was a good time, and I just wanted to let you know that, thank you for inspiring me.
You went through your thing, even with children. Yeah. You was just like, look, I'm about this. That was dope though, to see that and keep up with you. Like, wow, okay, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I wanna ask you, of course, like, with the times right now, with all this crazy stuff going on with COVID and all these black men getting killed, and you have boys, right?
I have, three.
Three boys.
Yeah.
So are you having that conversation? Like, what's that conversation like with them right now? Like, as far as like, so of course, I guess they're still out of school, and
one is out of school.
Okay.
Another one college. You know what I'm saying? No,
because it's new. I mean, it's new for me. I mean, of course, I know you've. I mean, with just the all of the injustice we've been having to deal with all these years, you've experienced more, but I've never seen nothing like this personally. Of course, you hear about it, you read about it. It's in our history, it's in our DNA. Our grandparents talk about it. But I wanted to ask you, like, what's that, or if you've even had that conversation with them.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. You have to ask. I mean, because young people aren't ignorant. I mean, they just not. So you have to ask how you feeling. What do you think? And that's kind of how I start. And then they kind of give me how they feeling, and then we kind of say, well, yeah, and nay, and go from there. Nothing. I don't sit there and be like, well, when I was, I don't do that. That's not happening. I sit back and just listen, and they own it. But it's a trip to see. Like when I was in college, the Rodney King thing happened. Wow. They got him on videotape. We ride it, but we didn't go to this level as what's going on now. Now you got all different white, black, everybody really, the younger generation really ain't like, they like, look, we're not with it at all. And I like to see that rally didn't happen. So I like seeing that going on, and people are staying more aware right now. Like we just at the beginning of it. We're only at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother chapter, and we at the beginning of it. It's crazy, but yeah, definitely with my young men, my boys, they're smart. They know, what's going on. They know what to look for and not what to do.
Right.
And they not with the BS.
Yeah.
Any new skills you picked up during the quarantining?
Man, learning this, learning Ableton. Shouts out to DJ Wante.
Okay.
Boy, it's
it's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world. Learning how to get a backdrop, lights, and work it. Even though I ain't got my other lights on, but it's like cool. I'm just learning this, like really learning.
So you tired of them Zoom calls, huh?
No, I'm cool with it. Yeah, that's why I put my food down. No, that's why I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So this is all new, and it's cool though, because it is what it is. If people not going out, I'm fine with that. I got a call from Bronner Brothers hair show. Shouts out to them. I've been doing their stuff for like damn near 20 years. So they called me up like, hey, we want you to do the next one in September virtually. I'm like, cool, let's go.
Let's go.
Like, that's like all that is very real. Right now, that's real. And probably if this stuff go away, this is a part of my new palette now. Like I'm gonna use this. Like I enjoy being at home and
Right.
I've been teaching online as well to people. Been FaceTime and everything and teaching. So,
so it's
it was rough at first, and it's still quirky, but you navigate and you pray every day and you navigate.
Of course.
And say, you know what, I got to make it happen.
And just making, we, in the industry we in, we can never be the old nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can't, because once you out of the loop with the music, with the technology, you done. You might as well just pack it up.
Do something else.
I know you started on 1200s. What was that transition like for you? Like, was it that transition like for you going from the 1200s to the controllers? Now, I don't know. Do you use controllers?
I just bought a controller.
Okay.
But even my Rain 12s, even though they look like turntables, they're really controllers.
Yeah.
And then I got the regular, the newer controllers. So it's but it's funny. Me and Asad was talking about this last night because we were working on some stuff, and he was like, "Man, I remember when I first bought you the CDJ, the original."
Yeah.
Was that your first equipment?
I hated it. I'm talking about, you know, making that transition from turntable to the new technology.
Yeah.
This is the early 90s.
Yeah, so CDJs came first. Yeah.
Huh?
The CDJ, so the 1200s, then the CDJs.
Yeah,
then
but it wasn't even a CDJ yet. It was something else. But Pioneer made it. It was weird. You could put the CD in and had a jog wheel where you can kind of jig it a little bit, and it had like where you can loop. And it was big. I still got it put up somewhere.
Yeah.
It was wild. I hated it. It drove me crazy. But I got through it. Mm-hmm. Then the CDJ came. I was like, oh, I got through that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Then Serato came as software.
Yeah.
I said, damn, I don't want to get off these CDs I'm using. I don't want to do it. Yeah. What is this? And then you get over it. Yeah. You know, anything new, you know how it goes. Sometimes it's just frustrating. It is.
And I will say, if you once you learn how to DJ on 1200, you can DJ on anything. You can figure it out super easy.
Now, I agree with you on that because I also was an instructor at the Scratch Academy. We had the Scratch Academy here in Atlanta for 2 years.
Shout out to Jam Master J. Yeah,
shouts out once again. And I had my first student that I taught that I did private lesson with. He used to DJ off an iPod. So I was like, okay, that's cool. We're gonna scrap that. I'm gonna bring out these 1200s and this vinyl. We're gonna start right here. And man, he's gone off. Man, he's out in Miami DJing.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't look back. You know what I'm saying? But like she said, like Jay said, once you learn the fundamentals off a turntable, regular turntables, the other stuff really become easier.
Yeah. So man, Jelly,
skill-wise, it becomes easier.
What's next for you? Like what's like some goals or some things that you wanna accomplish?
Just my thing is about continuing to help artists, doing more publishing, because I got a couple of situations going on with publishing right now, as well. Management to people who I really want to mess with, because I've always done management without the title, but I always have. So I'm getting more serious about that. Definitely.
And you say you're teaching, like, is it at a specific school or how are you teaching?
No, just like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, dude will call me from Texas or something. Hey, Jenna, we'll do a couple of lessons, couple of weeks. I got an 11-year-old that I got to get with in a couple of weeks that I taught last year physically, and now we're getting ready to do the Zoom calls and work too.
So if we're interested, or for whoever's interested in maybe getting some lessons, like how would they reach you or how they get in contact with you?
Me at the real DJ Jelly on Instagram and IG. So everything's spelled regularly. TheReal DJ JELLY at the real DJ Jelly. That's how they get to.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna ask you this. What was your favorite versus battle?
You know what? I didn't. And it was so crazy. I didn't see the versus battle. I heard
you didn't catch them?
Saw the memes.
Oh, okay.
I was doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Okay, that's all. I was getting my stuff together. You know.
Yeah. No, it's definitely some good ones. When you get a chance, it's some good ones. And
I've seen clips like the Lil Jon and T-Pain.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. Their personalities is off the chain.
Yeah.
That was dope. Then I saw a little bit of the Babyface and Teddy Riley. I didn't see the Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. I didn't get it. I didn't see any of that. So
yeah,
definitely. So that's a dope concept too. By the way,
it is.
Shouts out to Timbaland.
And Swizzy.
Definitely, that's a real good concept. But yeah,
and they both DJs. I know Swiss is DJ. Timbo DJ.
He has.
Yeah, I think Timbo can DJ.
Yeah.
So we the foundations of this, man, and we definitely appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely.
And, the legend, DJ Jelly.
The OG.
The OG.
The OGs. You like the Snoop of DJs.
Yeah.
No, I definitely appreciate it though. Y'all having me. So that's a blessing. Definitely.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, how can we check you out, follow your movement and all that good stuff? And where can we listen to your mixes, your mixtapes, and all of that?
So another chapter. We have a site, Mixtape Mobsters.
Okay.
MixtapeMobstaz.com. That's where you can stream all our mixes from the early 90s to now.
MixtapeMobsters.com.
You can catch every Jelly, Assault, Monte, mix DVD, you can just stream. It's a streaming site.
Okay.
And we selling those USBs too as well.
Okay.
So slinging those.
Yeah.
So that's been a blessing. And shouts out to everybody that's been really supporting us through the decades, and that site. The site is really doing its thing.
Okay.
Absolutely. There it is, Jelly.
Well, there it is. You want to give your Instagram and your
Instagram again, IG at the real DJ Jelly. Spelled regularly.
Well, there it is.
Regularly.
Well, Jelly, man, thank you, man. Thank you for blessing us. We definitely appreciate it.
It's been another episode of Jazzy and Facts on Wax.
Wax, baby. DJ Jelly.
Peace out.
Yes, sir.